We've all been there, right? Staring at the departures board, seeing that dreaded word, delayed. But what happens when that single delay spirals into a massive, continent-wide gridlock? We're not just talking about a little inconvenience here. We're talking about a total meltdown in Asian aviation that left thousands and thousands of people stranded. So today, we're going to unpack what on earth happened, why it happened, and what this all means for you the next time you fly.
So, here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we're going to get a handle on the sheer scale of the chaos. Then, we'll zoom right in on the airports and airlines that were at ground zero. After that, we'll dig into the perfect storm of reasons that caused this whole mess. And finally, and this is the important part for you, we're going to give you a traveler's playbook to help you navigate this crazy, unpredictable new reality.
So how do you even measure chaos like this? What started as just a few scattered delays didn't just grow, it totally exploded. The entire system was pushed way past its breaking point, and honestly, the numbers tell a pretty staggering story.
Okay, let's start with the first number, 1,470. And that's not just some statistic, right? That's nearly 1,500 individual stories of misconnections, ruined vacation plans, and just a whole lot of frustration.
And then on top of that, 67 flights just gone, wiped right off the schedule. That's 67 plane loads of people left completely high and dry. But believe it or not, that was just scratching the surface. When you pull back and look at the whole region, the number of delays just balloons to over 3,800. This wasn't a bad travel day, this was a full-on systemic meltdown.
And that really gets to the core of it. This wasn't one airport having a rough afternoon. No, this was a massive domino effect that just cascaded across the entire continent, all the way from Japan to the UAE, creating an absolute logistical nightmare for thousands of people.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. Where did this all hit the hardest? Let's zoom in and pinpoint the epicenters of this disruption, the specific airports and airlines that really took the brunt of the chaos.
Whoa, okay, take a look at these numbers. This table shows us the hotspots. Jakarta Soekarno-Hatta Airport was basically ground zero, slammed with 216 delays and 13 cancellations. And right on its heels, you've got Bangkok, struggling with almost 200 delays. I mean, these are some of the biggest, most important hubs in Asia, and they were just buckling under the pressure.
And it wasn't just the airports feeling the heat, The airlines were in the thick of it too. It looks like Indian and Japanese carriers got hit especially hard. IndiGo is leading the pack with an incredible 93 delayed flights, and right behind were Japan's All Nippon Airways and Air India, nearly neck and neck.
And the cancellations tell a really interesting story. It wasn't just about delays. You had Batik Air and, get this, the U.S. carrier United Airlines tied for the most outright cancellations. This just shows you that real ripple effect. When major hubs get clogged up like this, the disruption doesn't care about borders. It pulls in global giants like Emirates and Singapore Airlines, proving just how connected all of our skies really are.
Okay, so this brings us to the million-dollar question. Why? How on earth did this even happen? And the answer isn't simple. This wasn't just one thing going wrong. It was a whole collection of pressures that all slammed together at the worst possible time, creating a literal, perfect storm in the skies. I want you to picture this. You've got this huge wave of people, a massive surge in travel demand, crashing into a system that, let's be honest, never fully recovered from the last few years. Key airports are already creating bottlenecks. Then, you throw in geopolitical tensions that are forcing planes onto longer, more crowded routes. And to top it all off, rising fuel costs are squeezing the airlines. I mean, any one of these things is a major headache. But all of them together, that's a recipe for system-wide failure. So, understanding the why is one thing, but what really matters is how you, the traveler, can actually get through this. So let's switch gears and build your personal playbook for dealing with this new level of craziness in the skies.
Yeah, it's easy to feel totally powerless when you're stuck in a terminal, right? Just watching the flight board. But the good news is, you're not. Being proactive is your absolute best defense, and there are real, concrete steps you can take to get back a little bit of control. So here it is, your 5-step survival guide. Number 1, you need to be glued to your airline's app, constantly checking for real-time updates. 2, get in touch with the airline directly. Ask about rebooking, ask about options. 3, get to the airport much, much earlier than you think you need to. 4, keep your documents all together and somewhere you can grab them in a second. And 5, pay attention. Listen for those airport announcements because that's where you'll hear about last-minute gate changes. Look, these steps won't stop the chaos, but they could be the difference between a really frustrating delay and a total travel nightmare.
And all of this leaves us with this one big, kind of unsettling question, doesn't it? As the whole world is rushing to travel again, the systems that we all depend on are really starting to show their cracks. So is this kind of skyline gridlock something we just have to get used to? Is this the new turbulent normal for flying? Definitely something to think about next time you go to book a flight.